film is extremely quotable. SpongeBob movie. Airplane! I just want to tell you both good luck. We're all counting on you. We have Clarence. Roger. What's our vector? Victor. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. She turned me into a newt. I got better. Who are you? Who are so wise in the ways of science? Princess Bride. Recently went to watch Princess Bride at the theater. Obviously everyone was a hardcore fan, chuckling at lines we all heard 100 times. But then a line came that I certainly forgot about, and I think everyone else must have too. Masks are terribly comfortable. I think everyone will be wearing them in the future. Crowd absolutely lost it. Mean Girls. On October 3rd, he asked me what day it is. Danny DeVito, I love your work. We should totally just stab Caesar. Blazing Saddles. Someone needs to go back and get a shitload of dimes. This is one of the greatest lines in movie history. Hello everybody, welcome back to Ask EmKay. My name is Mason, and let's just get into it. Women who think that only men should be drafted in the event of a war. Why? Sorts by controversial? Somehow both sides managed to get on my nerves in that cesspool. Honestly, it's Reddit. Both sides of everything do. Political humor especially drives me to anger management and possibly alcoholism. This thread is wild. Draft discussions are typically pretty interesting. The draft is basically a bad solution to a terrible problem. The draft may be a bad solution, but it might be the best bad alternative, which sucks. I suppose the Starship Troopers model is an alternative where it's optional but carries massive benefit. The draft should only be if we're actively invaded. I don't want to be sent over to kill some Middle Eastern farmer just because he discovered oil. I want to defend the land of my country, not go invading. Why the f did I have to scroll this far to see this answer? I agree. I'm not trying to go overseas and murder people to protect the interest of ExxonMobil and British Petroleum. I'm gonna be honest, I have never met any women who thinks men should be drafted. Most of the women I talk to think that no one should be drafted. Yeah, I don't want anyone to get drafted. That includes me. The draft is an oligarchy's tool to force the peasants to fight to protect the oligarch's property and way of life under threat of imprisonment. If you support the draft in any fashion, you're a bootlicker, supporting oppressive instruments of the state. No one should be forced to fight in a war against their will. I don't, but at least one parent needs to stay with the babies. He's diabetic. I'd take his place if needed. In a perfect world, there would be no draft. Thank you kindly for the award. I'm a dentist, so I'm pretty sure if I got drafted, I'd still just be a dentist in the military. Take your child to work day is gonna be a blast. The whole idea of a draft is stupid. Drawing regular people to defend their country from invasion, sure. Drafting people to go elsewhere and fight in something they don't agree with is dumb. Problem with only for defense law is that the government argues basically everything is for defense. Most countries have a Department of Ministry of Defense. The Iraq War was sold as a defense against weapons of mass destruction. The Afghan War is one against terror. Russia is also claiming it is defending themselves, and a large part of their population buys it, just like over half of Americans supported the invasion of Iraq. Man, we're getting political today. What's a food you're not allergic to but find disgusting? My wife enjoys pickled pig's feet. I do not. My wife worked with a girl who loved them. Lips, ears, can't do it. They look disgusting that way, and they look raw. I would never eat that. I do love them grilled though. Anything from the fennel family, even if I just get a whiff of it, I feel queasy. Consumption usually results in automatic gagging, but surprisingly no allergic reaction. OMG, same, I f***ing hate it. I hate when chai is made strongly with fennel or anise. I can only tolerate it if there's so little that you can't even taste it. Pho soup smells amazing, except for that damn anise. I once bought some bagels only to discover that they had a small amount of fennel seeds all over them. I had to spend the time with every damn bagel to remove every stupid seed before I could eat them. My brain is allergic to the thought of eating snails willingly. My taste buds crave escargot. Help! It's just the garlic butter that makes them palatable. Have some shrimp scampi instead. So if you tried the snail willingly, liked it, but don't like that you like it, snail-induced self-loathing. The next big pandemic. Celery. This is me, for sure. As a kid, for some reason, I ate an insane amount of celery because it was in the fridge and my dad is a deadbeat. Didn't get sick, nothing bad happened, except ever after that day, if I even smell it, I start heaving and throwing up. Don't know why. Raw celery is basically water with strings. Don't mind it in soups though. Any type of offal, a fall, the smell is enough to make me gag. Starving would be preferable. Arthur Morgan on A Fall. Top 10 video game protagonists. I actually prefer Arthur to John personally. I'm replaying the story right now because last time I raced through to get to the epilogue so I could do all the side quests as John. But when he writes a journal page, it's like a child did it. Arthur has the soul of a poet and is a decent artist. I'm going for a close to 100% as Arthur as I can. What is your most controversial movie take? I love Wild Wild West. Just found out everybody who was involved hates it. Will Smith says it's the worst movie he ever made and it has a Rotten Tomato score of 17%. So I guess that's a controversial opinion. I love that movie too. It's not a good movie, but it's fun as hell. Fun is the best way to describe it. Full of dumb ideas, but if you don't think about them too hard and sit back and just enjoy it, it's a super fun movie. Okay, hello, Schlatt profile picture. More people need to recognize that just because someone says, I really like that movie, it doesn't mean that they think it's a cinematic masterpiece. Some people just like watching movies and will pretty much have a good time watching a movie even if the movies are bad. I'm known for liking bad movies, so most of the people that know me will take me saying I like that movie as meaning this movie is a trash fire. I have come to terms with my poor taste in movies and use it as a disclaimer when giving recs. Haha. Why did I say that? Why did gonna do it like? I think Demi Moore's character, Molly, should have died at the end of Ghost so they could be together. As a kid, I cried when the evil spirits took Willie away. His "help me" screams tugged my heartstrings so hard. Those moo sounds the demons made still haunt me. I love the first live-action Scooby-Doo movie. The twist at the end is what makes it for me. I won't say it in case anyone skipped it because of bad reviews. Every time someone says the word sacrifice, my immediate reflex to this day is, rabbit rice? Okay. The thing that makes Stephen King's books so great is also what makes the movies so bad. A lot of the story is in the heads of the characters, and that just can't be translated successfully to the screen. Depends on how it's handled. I'm a huge Stephen King fan, and while a large number of films adapted from his works are inferior, some work really well. Other commenters have said Shawshank and The Mist, both Frank Darabont, interestingly enough. I would also like to put forth Stand By Me, The Running Man, cheesy as all hell, but entertaining. Pet Sematary, original, ditto. Children of the Corn, The Shining, very different from the novel, but good nonetheless. People who don't want children, why? They suck, that's why. I think having children isn't something you do because you don't have a reason not to. I would have children if I had a really good reason to, and I don't. It's an important life-changing decision that involves an innocent person being brought into the world. I don't think I should do that just because I might as well. Yes, I can't find an answer to a question, why do I want kids? Same, and then I realized that the reason was to make them do all the things my parents don't allow me to do. So when I started doing them for myself, my fantasy about having kids disappeared. That was the moment I realized I don't want to be a parent. I'm selfish when it comes to my quiet time. I love being alone, right? A lot of the time, my friends who have kids say they miss their quiet time. Observing what it's like secondhand, I know it's not for me. I like to sleep too much. A friend said to me once, I used to sleep all the time, but when you have kids, you just get used to not sleeping. My thought was, but I don't want to get used to not sleeping. I'm only learning as I head towards middle age that I don't want to is a valid reason for not doing anything you don't actually have to do. I'm physically disabled with a genetic circulation condition. I don't want to pass my condition on to others, and the physical aspects of raising children would be too much strain on me. I'm not physically disabled, but I have a severe stammering, stuttering disability. A couple of people in my family had it before me, but not as severe. I wouldn't wish this life on anyone, let alone my children. Plus, I like being alone. I'm just a little depressed, but same. Expensive. Plus, being a teacher, I've seen enough and don't want to come home with dealing with more kids. Fellow teacher here, same feelings. After some of those tougher days at school, sometimes all I desire is the ability to get away, to come home and sit in silence. Imagining having my girlfriend and I both working full-time as we need to in order to support a family, only to come home and jump right into full-time parenting duty is so unbelievably daunting. I like my own personal space. Oh my gosh, yes. I was never a touchy kid. Even as an adult, I don't give a lot of hugs or kisses or physical affection. If I ended up with a kid like my brother, ADHD and constantly wanting to hold hands or be in your personal space, I think I'd go crazy or give the kid a complex. Give me some of that personal space. Without telling your age, how old are you? And there it is twice? Yeah. I learned to type on a typewriter. I took typing as a class in junior high. I'm 55. Video games only worked on channel 3 when I was a kid. In that switch box with the little prongs that attach to the back of the TV. Yep, you needed an RF switch before composite cables became a thing. Watching the teacher wheel out the strapped-down CRT TV to watch Bill Nye and the Magic School Bus made elementary school so much better. Late 20s, gang gang! When you saw that black cart, it was like, hell yeah, no work for an hour. Why did they remove the balls inside the mouse? That thing used to get so linty. Favorite pastime was untwisting that holder, popping the ball out, and scrapping them rollers. You know, if you know. I miss doing that. Remember how much easier it would roll after? I have no idea what they're talking about. The original Oregon Trail was the so was Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? You have died from dysentery. Oregon Trail was the indeed. So about 237 or so. Aliens come to Earth. We need a leader. Who should be the president of the entire world? Dwayne The Rock Johnson, in my opinion. The aliens can't conquer the planet if we declare you leader upon arrival. Taps head. Logic. The dog that is the mayor in that one town. He certainly got the qualifications. Either that or Arnold. James from down the road. He seems to have his together. He had his Christmas lights down about the first weekend in January. Isn't he the same guy that folds and puts his laundry away the same night he washes it? James it is. What? People do this? No, James does. I for one welcome our alien overlords. Don't blame me, I voted for Kodos. I voted for Morbo. All glory to Hypnotoad. Tom Nook. He charged them 100k bells per day as a parking fee. Per vehicle. Vice President could be Raymond. He just looks like he's got his together. Imagine getting the aliens to double park when they arrive and we tow their spaceship. What's a corporation that nobody seems to realize is evil? Oh boy. Yeah, I knew it was gonna be Intuit. Intuit, the maker of TurboTax, they worked very hard for years to make sure filing your taxes is neither free nor easy. They solve a problem that shouldn't exist in the first place. The credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, Their business model is based on building up as much information about you as they can from sources you can't vet, control, or have the ability to approve. You can't look at the raw data, just their compiled reports. It's your job to correct the data that they gathered versus them validate the data. You have no control and can't stop them from gathering the data, and their analysis has direct implications on many of your financial activities. Oh, and my favorite above all, they are a data company having some of the most personal information about you, which has direct financial implications on your life. But when they are breached and that data is exposed, it's your problem to deal with the repercussions. The Dole and Chiquita Fruit Company. Oh no. The things they did in the mid-1900s would have been evil by 1600 standards. United Fruit Chiquita. The only company to have an entire form of despotic government named after its activities. Banana Republic. Banana Republic was wild. I think most posters missed the nobody seems to realize part of the question. Sally Mae. They can't get a bad enough rap. They rebranded part of their company to Navient because they know what they did. That was so frustrating. They'd take my check and deposit the full balance on one outstanding account instead of separating it like they knew they were supposed to, and then let all remaining accounts go delinquent and charging you late fees at the same time. Took entirely too long for them to get sued and lose. They did that to me a number of times, and then when they lost that suit, I still got zero for it when they charged me hundreds in fees for their bullshit. What is one thing that doesn't exist that you wish actually existed? Another free day after Sunday. I'll counter with keeping the same 7 days in a week, but making the weekend 3 days long. Honestly, just make the work cycle 5 days on 5 days off, for a total of 73 5-day intervals every year. Weeks as they are now are not even that useful as an increment. Sleeping pills that actually make you sleep normally and restfully. Yes. Melatonin makes me dream every awkward moment or fight in my life. Mashup style. Yep, I'm asleep. Nope, no rest. And I'm sad. I like to read a book before I go to sleep, and if I take melatonin in 10-15 minutes, I'll get a sudden wave of sleepiness. If I try to fight it to finish a chapter or something and don't try to go to sleep immediately, I will not go to sleep. The wave passes and I just lie awake in my bed for hours, completely exhausted, tired, and unable to sleep. That one thing in Barbie's closet that picks and dispenses outfits for her. Oh wait, I remember this. It was a robot named Closet. Ken ended up turning him evil, and then Closet trapped Barbie and her friends in the dream house. A medical body scanner in the style of Star Trek. Replicators would be cool too. Specify Star Trek, or are we gonna be overrun by giant metal bugs? And then giant metal bugs made out of new metals. Then giant metal bugs made out of smaller metal bugs. Then a bunch of D-bags made out of smaller metal bugs. Teleporting. I used to watch this show as a kid where one of the characters' uncles had a teleportation watch, and I couldn't wait to grow up and get one. Imagine my disappointment when I found out that wasn't a thing. When I was younger, I played Minecraft a lot, and I always thought it was really cool how the Endermen could just go wherever they wanted in the blink of an eye. How cool would it be to be 10 feet tall and be able to do that? I mean, ignoring the obvious caveat that if I were an Enderman, I wouldn't be able to go near water without f***ing dying, but that didn't stop me from having daydreams about being able to travel the world. I sound stupid. What movie that is over 35 years old stood the test of time and is as good as when you first saw it? Trading Places. Anything with Eddie Murphy in the 80s. I bet Lewis, We Couldn't Get Rich Without Putting You All in the Poorhouse. Guess I lost. Alien. The sequel also holds up really well. They mostly come out at night. Mostly. Hudson. Hey, Vasquez. Have you ever been mistaken for a man? Vasquez. No. Have you? Haha, one of my favorites. Vasquez was amazing. The Thing. 1982. John Carpenter. You gotta be f***ing kidding me. Arguably is better now because we are so numb to digital effects that the practical effects get a bigger reaction out of us. 12 Angry Men. This movie is 40 years older than me, so I was shocked by how progressive and timeless it was considering it's from the 50s. Felt like reading To Kill a Mockingbird for the first time. Same. We watched it in school once and I was shocked. It was so clever. Terminator. Yep, was gonna say. Watch it all the time to the end whenever it's on TV. What is the most useless skill you have? Was a janitor for 2 years and got pretty good at sliding trash cans back into place from across the room. I think the grocery store courtesy clerk equivalent is pushing a cart a long f***ing way and makes it into the corral. That's impressive because one of the wheels is usually f***y. Gotta account for wind speed and wheel f***ery. The random shit I can make using boxes and tape. Can you make a castle? Smirk. We made a minotaur out of all the soda boxes we found in my friend's dorm room once. I can tie my shoelace with one hand in under 5 seconds. You can now put both of your shoes on at the same time. Now that dude is the only one who can wake up late. I can blow a sound like and as loud as a whistle, which would be great if I was a referee in sports or a gym teacher, but neither situation has ever come up. Become a steam engine train. Moi. Out of the box thinking, straight onto the tracks. I like the cut of your jib. I spent years practicing singing and metal screaming. I am not in a band. I do not sing in front of people. It's literally just so I can sing to my favorite songs. Are you talking about the growling style of vocals? Yeah. I can pretty convincingly reproduce the sound. I spend a lot of time watching videos and tutorials to figure it out and practice. And that's gonna do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all later. Peace out.